Hey guys, David here from Door. Really excited about this video because it is the 1-year update video. We launched July 4th of last year, and it's been a little over 365 days since Door has been in existence. And what a year it's been. I'm super excited about Door and the future of Door. I'm super proud of the accomplishments that we've made in the last year with Door and some of the really cool technology that we've been able to build and release. Certainly full of challenges, full of ups and downs, but definitely one of the more exciting years that I've had, and super excited about the next 12 months. So, wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about the year and looking back at some of the stuff we've done, but then also talk about the plan moving forward, and give a business update on Door and where we are. So, for us, although we've met many of our objectives in the last year, we're still facing a ton of challenges ahead, namely getting the Door Plus app onto as many phones as possible in order to build value in our network and provide value for advertisers. There's three main challenges. One being user acquisition, driving new users. I think that's the main goal, the main challenge. And there's three, and they are a self-fulfilling prophecy, and I'll explain why. But number one, moving forward, driving new users is the number one objective for us moving forward, because the value of our application is based on the number of active users within the application. Without users, we can't sell ads. And since ad revenue is our business model, growing our user base of active, engaged users is critical. So that's our main focus. That is our North Star right now. That's where the majority of our time, effort, and budget is being focused. Some of the things we're doing to drive new users are paid acquisition campaigns through multiple channels. Using Facebook, Instagram, Google Play Store ads, doing Apple search ads, testing Google search ads, and then doing App Store optimization both within Google Play and the Apple Store. By far, the Google Play Store campaigns are the ones that are over-indexing for us, driving us the most installs and the cheapest cost per install. So that one is showing the most potential for scale. So let me look into some metrics here. As of July 2022, both Google Play Store and Apple App Store have a little over 10,000 downloads each. We're just over 20,000 downloads, which is a cool metric, right? We're on over 20,000 phones. The real metric, the real key performance indicator for us is measuring DAUs, or daily active users. Right now, as of when I pulled this data, we were at 5,933 daily active users, and growing. We're registering somewhere between 30 and 50 registrations a day with our current campaigns and a current budget, and growing our daily active users is key. So now that we've been in existence for 3 months, we're able to really look at some decent amount of data and understand, what methods are bringing the most value to us, bringing the most daily active users, so we can scale that way. So that's a high level kind of where we are. We are growing and scaling our campaigns incrementally. It's important not to throw too much mud against the wall when you see something working. And then driving installs is one thing, but driving daily active users is another. And it takes time to analyze those metrics, right? But you don't know day one that the person that installed this application from this campaign becomes a daily active user. So we're really monitoring that data, trying to make smart, data-driven decisions. in order to drive new users. So, so that's challenge number one. That's, and in my opinion, these are in order of importance. Challenge number two is driving ad revenue. And driving ad revenue is definitely predicated on driving users, right? When we have eyeballs within the app, when we have engaged users that are creating meaningful engagement with content within the application and with ads within the application, and we can scale those daily active users, then it becomes really, really interesting for advertisers to use an outlet like Door Plus to sell their wares. We're confident that once we hit 100,000 downloads and somewhere in between 20 to 25,000 daily active users, that's when Door Plus will become a really interesting contender for a lot of big name advertisers. In the meantime, we're hyper focused on crypto. Obviously, there's some synergy there. So we're hyper focused on crypto oriented advertisers. That is a challenge in and of itself because we are kind of in the middle of a crypto winter, and some of these platforms have much less advertising budget and are maybe a little trepidatious on trying something that is new. And number two is, we're going slow with who we allow on the platform. My focus is user experience over profits 100% of the time. We certainly want to vet our advertisers before we launch an advertising flight on Door. The last thing we want is to sell or advertise another Celsius to our users and then have it negatively affect our users. So, but driving ad revenue is challenge number two, and is directly related to how well we do driving users. And then challenge number three is improving token health and liquidity. Now, if we hit number one and number two, number three will happen by proxy. And this is why I said these are self-fulfilling prophecies. With most tokens now being in a crypto winter, liquidity gets dried up, people exit. With something like Door, when we had a very successful launch and we had a 40x increase in value in such a short period of time, it creates an unsustainable false reality. The token value was driven more on hype than it was on a reflection of the business and a reflection of the success of the business and the health of the business. So it's actually good. It's a good reset to be where we're at now, because when we do hit number one and number two, drive new users, drive sustainable ad revenue, what we're going to have is token health and liquidity that is a reflection on the health of the business. And that's going to be more sustainable liquidity. That is liquidity provided by advertisers who have purchased Door in order to run advertising flights on the platform. And that is liquidity from users and people who have a good long-term vision of the Door Plus platform and the future of Door, rather than hype, rather than traders, rather than people trying to ride a launch and then exit. This allows us a chance to build real sustainable token health and liquidity. So those are the three challenges moving forward. Again, in order of importance, driving new users, which will help drive ad revenue, which will help grow token health and liquidity. Moving forward, there is a plan we have in place. The founders that had originally invested in Door last July, their 1-year stakes are maturing this month, and we are trying to position ourselves for success moving forward. And part of that plan is to do a time lock for Door founders. Part of the problem is, or part of the challenge, I should say, is that for a founder whose stake is unlocking now, there's not enough liquidity in the market to sustain any sort of reasonable profit-taking strategy, and And what we want to do is create more confidence in the market that there's not going to be a number of big door whales that are just ready to dump their tokens on the market. So we are going forward with a 42-month time lock for founders. And what this means is that the founders will lock up their tokens, and each month a percentage of the tokens will be released. And this ensures that we won't have a flood of tokens that go into an open market that does not have enough liquidity to sustain the flood of tokens. So year one will be 1% per month, year two will be 2% per month, and year three will be 3% per month. And this will allow us to position Door for success, allow us the additional time to grow the business and build some sustainable token health and liquidity. And so number two is the Door auction. Now, some of you may be familiar with this. You can still see it in the app. In order to provide some liquidity for founders, we created a Dutch auction that allowed the founders to liquidate some of their tokens if they needed to. Most people didn't. There was a very small amount of tokens available for this auction. But it allowed an option to free up some liquidity for people that maybe wanted to take some of their money off the table, right? Number three is the Door token burn. One of the things we did was burnt 70% of the total token supply. When we originally launched, we minted 4 billion Door tokens. We had a bit of a different strategy and a different objective for how we were going to use those tokens, including having team tokens and reserves and a very, very large reward pool that was, in our mind, designed to be enough to sustain 10 years of rewards. And as we grew and as we learned and as we pivoted, we realized that there was far too much tokens on the market. So we burned 2.8 billion tokens out of the 4 billion, eliminated all the team tokens, all the reserves, and a portion of the rewards. And this allows us to strengthen the price and the value of the token. So that's our main plan, is creating confidence, getting the founders to agree to this time lock, and then really working on meeting those three core challenges, right? Driving users, driving ad revenue, and then continuing to build token strength and liquidity. So that's it. We're head down, we're working. Building the business is the critical path here, because that's going to grow the real strength of the token and real sustainable liquidity. So I really appreciate everyone who is using the app, with innovation of any type. It's a lot of navigating in the dark. There is no roadmap for building a business powered by crypto, or building a platform that rewards users for their data like Door Plus is doing. And for those of you who are using the app and giving us good feedback, critical feedback, I appreciate that so much. It is oxygen to us, because that's how we learn. So if you are using it and you love the app, hate the app, think of things that can be improved, if you have great ideas, send them our way in Discord, because we listen to every single one of them. With that, I want to say just thank you. It's been an exciting year, and I'm looking forward to the next 12 months, and I will see you in the next one.